Hello, everyone, and welcome to our round two preview of the Northwest Conference in episode 11 of the CBL X's and O's podcast. I've got Sammy Gazzo joining me on the call again today, and we're going to preview round two. Sammy, exciting times for basketball.
Yeah, definitely. We did have a chat about, the results of last round, and it just sort of, once you got a bit of a taste, you're like, all right, let's get ready for the next round. So I know we're excited. I'm sure all the other teams are. The ones that are winning want to keep winning, and maybe a couple of tight losses there, they want a bit of redemption. So, yep, let's bring it on.
Certainly, and let's start off with your team, the Mildura Heat,
Mm.
welcoming Bendigo into the hothouse. Now, this is a first versus third on the ladder battle. How do we see this unfolding?
Yeah, very early first V3, just after one round. But no, we Bendigo obviously did great last weekend, winning two games. So both on the road. So kudos to them. We're expecting a very tough opponent to come into the hothouse, led by Lachlan O'Brien. It does seem, from his last weekend results, high scoring for both games. So we respect them as an organisation, and we're looking forward to Saturday night. We didn't get to play them last year because of all the issues with travel and flooding and all of that nature. So it'll be good. We haven't played them for a couple of years in the CBL. So no, it's great we get to play them, and we look forward to Saturday night, and we'll see what happens.
Echuca are travelling to Castlemaine to take on the Cannons in Castlemaine. How do we see that game unfold?
Yeah, probably a tough game. It's going to be tough for Echuca. Castlemaine's a tough place to go to and win, and like I did say after the reviews, really do believe they're the team to beat in the CBL for the men's side. So it'll be a test for Echuca. They'll have to bring some game plan and ideas to see what they can do. But Castlemaine are going to be tough to beat there with Trent Leach and Josiah Patterson, and having the experience of Chris Hogan there. They are going to be tough to beat at home.
And Maryborough take on Backers Marsh in a 7th v 6th battle. Two teams pretty close on the ladder, and I think they're going to be pretty close on the ladder throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely so. Both teams probably a little bit disappointed after having lost after round one. They're probably going to be thereabouts when it comes to that sort of top 4, 5, 6 mark. So any loss is not ideal. So that'll be really tight tussle, and it might be a home court advantage that gets them over the line. But Bacchus Marsh will definitely want to get the win. So great game that'll be.
And the last game on Saturday night is Melton hosting Kyneton. So hopefully Kyneton can come in and improve from last week and potentially, put it to Melton.
Yeah, exactly right. Every week for them, for Kyneton, it's going to be about putting their best foot forward. And they've got to get that W. They'll be chasing it this year, and you believe they've put the work in over the summer. So over the winter, working into the summer. So they just got to fight through and see what happens. But Melton are going to be tough. They've got a couple of players there in Savage and Bock. Hopefully, I've said it correctly. But they're going to have some sort of game plan around being able to contain them after their results from round one.
And then backing it up on Sunday, Kyneton are hosting Maryborough. So both teams having a doubleheader this weekend. How do you see that game unfolding?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I think the good thing for both of them is they're not really travelling too far. They've got that advantage where, maybe Maryborough a little bit more than anything else, but it's not too bad a travel. I'd definitely take that travel if possible, if we could, but we've got a bit longer trip. But it'll be interesting to see how they both back it up. They only had the one game in the first round, and they both did lose. So you'd probably try and get 1-1 over the weekend if possible. You don't really want to drop any, but I'm sure Maryborough won't want to go into Kyneton and lose, and Kyneton again another chance for them to get a W on the board.
And the Macedon Rangers are set to host Echuca, which again these two teams will be very close on the ladder and probably should be a really tight tussle.
Yeah, exactly right. The advantage there is that Macedon don't play on the Saturday night where Echuca do. So, it'll be interesting to see how Echuca backs it up against the fresh team. I think it does make some sort of a difference potentially if you're not playing on the Saturday night. I guess you'd like the touch as well in regards to being able to move and play and so forth. But it'll be interesting to see how Chuka goes with their recovery. And I'm sure, Macedon again 1-1 last week. They'd be looking to go 2-1. So they might start the hot favourites there, having not played on the Saturday night.
And Bendigo on their way back from Mildura, pulling to Swan Hill, a little detour to play the second game of their road trip. How do we see that game unfolding?
Yeah, probably similar to that game in the sense that Swan Hill don't play on the Saturday night. They get some of the spoils on the Sunday of having our opponent from the Saturday night. So depending, not if we win as such, but I guess how they feel physically from the game, whether it's a physical game on the Saturday night or not, and how they go travelling another 2.5 hours on the Sunday. I think, Swan Hill have a great chance there because they, don't play on the Saturday night. That will help them, but I don't think Bendigo will want to, they want to go 2-0 again. So expect them to be really, real handful on both the Saturday night and especially on the Sunday as well.
And then we'll have a look at the women's side of the draw and its grand final rematch. Mildura hosting Bendigo this time, unlike the grand final where Bendigo had potentially some home court advantage. How do you see that game unfolding?
It is a grand final rematch, which will be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see if both teams have their full squad. I know from our women, they didn't have their full squad last week, and seeing Bendigo on the Sunday when they did lose the Cotton by 3, they weren't full squad as well, missing Lavinia Cox, who seemed to be a big out for whatever reason on the Sunday. So I think full squad, both teams will be a great game. I think it'll be a great game anyways, but knowing it's a grand final rematch and knowing that, Bendigo are a great association, we'd hope the hothouse is packed out and, we'll see how the girls go against the defending champions.
And Bacchus Marsh are travelling to Maryborough. What are our thoughts on that game?
Yeah, again, Bacchus Marsh, unfortunately, and Maryborough, sorry, both dropping a game after round 1. So travel's not too bad for them having to go up there. But it's going to be who wants to win, both having lost, who's gone into this week and said, okay, well, we need to work on this, we need to work on that. This is what we didn't do well, this is what we did well, and put that extra work in to get forward. So I think it'll be a tight tussle, and someone will want to get someone will want to get the W. So expect that to be a tight game.
And the last game on Saturday night sees Melton hosting Kyneton.
Ooh.
Both teams 2-0 last weekend. So we're going to have our first team. We'll find out which team isn't going to go through the season undefeated after this Saturday night. So it'll be a really good battle, though, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Can we call it game of the week? Are we doing game of the week? I don't know if we are, but let's call it the game of the week on the women's side. I'd like to, anyways.
Yeah, let's call it
that. Yeah, from the first week, it looks like it's going to be a cracker. Melton get to be at home again, which obviously helps, but Kyneton having, won both their games on the weekend, as did Melton. Like you said, it's going to be who's going to drop their first game for the season. So we'll call it game of the week, and let's see what happens and talk about it again next week.
Certainly. And Sunday, similar to the men, Maryborough travel to Kyneton to back it up in a double header. How does that one unfold?
Yeah, probably both teams wouldn't want to, they both have an interesting Saturday night, both a bit of a tussle, so could go either way. So you'd think that, barring the result on the Saturday night, they'd be, wanting to at least not lose both games over the weekend. So you at least hope for some sort of a 1-on-1 split if you can't win both games. So it'll just be a war of attrition potentially on the Sunday to see who's able to back it up. But again, it's at Kyneton, so let's maybe go with them with just a little bit of home court advantage.
And the last game in the women is Swan Hill hosting Bendigo on that return road trip. It'll be an interesting game, this one.
Yeah, definitely. Probably similar to the men's side in the sense that it's going to be how Bendigo backs it up on the Sunday. Swan Hill not playing on the Saturday night is some advantage, especially with Bendigo having to travel down from Mildura as well. So it'll be another war of attrition, I guess. And if Bendigo are full squad, I think, they'll be tough to beat, even with all the travel.
Certainly will be. And round 2 brings some more exciting basketball. That's our round 2 preview for the Northwest Conference, episode 11. That wraps us up. Have you got any last words, Sammy?
No, just to everybody watching who's playing, get to work. Let's talk about you. Let's you have a ripper game. Let's your team win. And let's be talking about you next week. You know, we're some good results. Let's see everyone get to work and let's see some better results. So can we like promote Northwest being the best division, or we don't do any of that sort of stuff? No, you can't. You got to be.
I'm the league manager, mate. So I stay neutral across the four
Okay.
conferences. But if you're saying the Northwest is best, then maybe it is. We don't have the all conference final anymore, so it's a bit tricky to be able to call a conference the best. But if you're saying then the Northwest
I'm
is the
just
best,
saying, maybe as league manager, if you want to, talk to a few people, maybe we can potentially have some sort of conference for. I mean, I don't know. We're all busy, but might be something to look into. I reckon that'd be nice. That'd be
yeah,
fun.
let's see what comes from it. If anyone wants to bring back the all conference final, let's get some things happening on socials, and maybe it will come back. Hey,
Come on, people, voices, get onto him, bug him enough that he has to. Let's go, Matty.
let's go. Round 2 preview in the books. Make sure we fill the stands this week. And for now, goodbye.